Tracyy Morgan has built up a lot of goodwill being a Knicks fan. But all that's gone to hell now. And deservedly so, because he criticized teachers. So he was on this Actors on Actors video with Marcello Hernández. Marcello is a current SNL member. Tracy is an SNL alum. And he was talking about teachers. And Marcello was saying he was basically saying how teachers didn't understand him. They said he was always into mischief, which basically means Marcello's probably cracking too many jokes and not paying attention. And then Marcello said, well, look at me now. Look at all the money I'm making now. I was like, okay. First of all, Marcello's fine, but he's no George Lopez. He's no Fluffy. so let's get that straight. But he's doing fine. But the reason Marcello's in this position is that even though he was goofing off in class, a teacher was there trying to teach him reading and writing and arithmetic. Marcello would not be able to count his money without a teacher. Marcello wouldn't be able to read his lines at SNL on the cue card if it wasn't for a teacher. So yes, he might have been goofed off in class, but the reason he's able to sign his contract and make his money and it be on SNL is because he can read because of a teacher. So he was saying that, and Tracy said, well, they didn't understand you, they didn't understand your gift. And I could buy that. Eminem said the same thing. Eminem said that he wasn't a great student, but he always loved writing. So I understand there's a lot of people who didn't fit in school because they had other gifts. I totally understand that. But then Tracy went further and said that teachers, because teachers can only make minimum wage, and he drunk his cup, and Marcel was laughing at it. And basically it seems like Tracy's saying that teachers deserve making minimum wage. And he says that they kind of lack vision of the future, a vision of what a person can be. And I say, okay, I understand that. I understand that's like sometimes your career counselor, you try to tell your career counselor what you want to do in life, but they don't see the vision. So I totally understand that. Or even in college. In college, you might be a marketing professor, but if you never apply these concepts in the real world, they're just theory. So I kind of understand that. But to basically say that teachers deserve being paid minimum wage, that's not gonna. No, like I was a substitute teacher for a while, and being a teacher is hard. I do me a favor, if you can, be a substitute teacher for one day. I challenge Tracyy Morgan to be a substitute teacher for one day and see what it's like to teach, how to wrangle in a bunch of kids. It's hard. Like my gal's a teacher. I have friends who are teachers. There's teachers now that I don't know who I would be. There's Dr. Rowe in high school, my business graphics class. There's Dr. Rancer in college, who was my communications professor. Like there's people who really made a really solid impact on me that lasts to this day. And the most important people is probably my kindergarten teacher, my first grade teacher, my second grade teacher, just because I don't know nothing. When you're a kid, you don't know anything. You just know what your parents teach you. But as far as like the day in and day out of reading, writing, and arithmetic, somebody had to teach us. The problem of our country is we don't respect education like other countries do. Our teachers are way underpaid and underfunded. In Akron, they keep on cutting teachers and cutting staff. They're doing the same thing in Cleveland. A lot of this is on the politicians and these billionaires. These billionaires don't pay their fair share. If the billionaires, if you took 1% of their income of all these billionaires, and Elon Musk, who could be a trillionaire soon, if you take 1% of their income, it probably would take care of public education across the country. And I don't like these guys who keep on screaming woke and DEI, because now they're basically saying like, I can't learn African American history. I can't learn what really happened in this story. These guys want me to be as stupid, as lame as they are. And I refuse to do that. I refuse to do that. So what do you guys think about Tracyy Morgan criticizing teachers? I never felt like, listen, Tracy's humorous. Tracy's witty. Like, is he witty? He's not really right. Tracy's kind of humorous. Tracy is one of those comedians that kind of failed up. Like he was great as Hustleman on Martin, but when he landed on SNL, I was like, oh, really? And even he would say that he really didn't fit in with SNL until he said, okay, whatever they wrote right, I'm going to do it. That's why that whole thing about I'm Brian Fellows, never understood it, never found it funny. But Lauren Michaels and Tina Fey found him funny. Tina Fey put him on 30 Rock. Lauren and Tina always hooking up with jobs. And Tracy's not Eddie Murphy. He's not Dave Chappelle. Like, he's not a brilliant comedian. He's okay in spots. But the criticized teachers, when the teachers that he had probably had a hard time teaching him in class, we should be praising our teachers, not criticizing them. So if you're a Knicks fan, please boo him. Boo!